So there's one question on everybody's minds, Christopher.
What's that?
What did you do this weekend?
Well, it's what I did, but something happened. Somebody died at NJCC.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like had an event, or got killed.
Well, I'll say that's TBD. So I'll say, and I'll tell the whole story about going to NJCC. But we're there Friday night, Saturday. There's a lot of activity. There's police around. I see some sort of, and forgive me, New Jersey does things a little strangely. Like it, I think that
make people pump your gas.
Well,
they can't make left turns.
On top of all that, I think they have privatized ambulance services instead of why
not?
Yeah, I don't know. And there was some, which isn't unusual to see an ambulance around. So, it's like 1:30 or so. I want to head up to my room for a bit. And I go up the elevator to the 5th floor, and I look down the hallway, and I see 4, 5, 6 uniformed officers, and then somebody not in a uniform that's obviously a detective or something. And I just stop because I'm like, I don't want to walk up on this, but they haven't acknowledged that I'm there either. So I'm just kind of like hanging out and
hanging around.
And here comes this big white bag out of a room across the hall from me.
Ready to kick this punk rock party up a notch.
Across the hall from you specifically.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I'm in 507. I think this is 510. So it's like across the hall and down one. They finally catch me and they see me and they're like, hey, where are you going? I'm like 507. And they said, give us about 10 minutes. And then I'm like, okay. And I'm hearing the chatter like there's not a service elevator here. We got to go down the main elevator. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if you remember how that place is laid out. The elevators are kind of in the back and there's a door right by the elevator. So they were going to be able. So then I just go back down to our rock block there. And I stop by and tell Fran, the guy who runs NJCC, I said, do you know what's going on here? He's like, there's always something going on here. What is it? And I told him, he's like, well, yeah, there's always something here. So I go back to our little block and sit down and I'm like telling everybody what's going on. And I'm like, where's Dust? Anybody know where Dust is?
Dust didn't die, did he?
No. You probably would have heard about that by now. But
yeah, that's what I was hoping.
So nobody knows where Dust is.
Okay.
Dust had moved rooms that night and was apparently on the 5th floor.
Oh, wow.
And then Derek had disappeared too. We didn't know where Derek was. And Sean was there with Derek. And I hadn't seen her the whole time. She had stayed up in the room.
And Derek's not exactly inconspicuous, is he?
Not at all, but he was not present.
Yeah.
Long story short, I have some I finally got Dust on the phone. I'm like, hey, man, because people have been texting him. I said, you good? He's like, yeah. I said, come down here and I'll explain why. And it's like, maybe we thought Dust had died. I don't know.
But he made it.
It's wild.
Let's make some noise for Dust being alive.
There we go. That was a crazy part of the weekend for sure.
Glad there wasn't a dust buster in the house.
Oh, hey, yo.
That would have been bad news.
Yeah.
If one person, you were told one person in your crew died, who would have been the most likely person?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Man.
I hope somebody who feels as though their time has come. Maybe we can celebrate the universe. It could be Farrell. he's been one to die for the past 10 years.
I think it's probably the last one you'd expect in most cases.
Yeah. Farrell, by the way, is not here today. He's on assignment.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. It's but that's why it's 3 and a possum. That's why it's
3 and a possum?
Possible.
No.
Okay. 3 and a possum would be interesting also.
I think we should change it to 3 and a possum, and Farrell's just a possum.
He's a feral possum.
Feral possum. I'll change the graphic.
Okay, a possum skull.
Mm-hmm. I got my some table update.
Oh,
what, this table or that table?
This table. Actually, that table too.
You have a lot of table action.
I know.
Maybe you should just table the subject. We'll talk about it later.
I don't want to have the tables turn on me. You know?
Hey, I am the table.
Yeah. So anyway, they it is stained, and tomorrow the graphics go on it, and then I think it gets shipped.
For this one?
Yeah.
And the other one?
Nice.
The other one, the table part is done. That's getting stained also, and then I think that's getting delivered Thursday. And then the countertop for it, I think, is still out a bit. And then the stools, we bought stools for it. They're like way out, like May, June, some shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Handmade
and
by-
then,
It takes so long.
Handmade by Amish people.
Must
and then
be.
I got to rethink the chairs down here because it's going to be a shorter table.
Yeah. Well, does that mean we get to go chair shopping again?
Yeah.
Chair
Yeah,
shopping.
if you guys want, it's hard enough to just get
What
us
about
together for the goddamn show. These days,
what
let
about-
alone some chair
And then you just send me to home to go pick them up.
yeah, the missing ones because we got like 2.
Yeah, I remember. Let's go pick up something or other.
Yeah.
We made it happen. Mm-hmm. Doesn't take the long way around, but we got there.
So we'll see.
Well,
Yeah, maybe
you're
something
going to
with a
have
back.
a plethora of stools. If you're looking to get rid of some, I'm always looking for a place to sit in my house.
Yeah, I might. I'm
If you're looking to donate.
I'm sure I'll have stools to get rid of.
Hey, listen, if you have any stool samples, like you want me to try them out beforehand, I'm always happy to do that.
I
Yeah.
had to really think about that one for a second, and I was like, he's really seeing this through to the end.
You want to try different heights. Somebody say, I'll take some stool samples, and then we'll I'm trying to.
I also saw something. I'm excited to get to my nerd week. I'm gonna wait my turn, but I saw an awkward moment.
Oh, you love those.
Oh, an awkward, arguably, it's not racist, but it would be framed as a racist situation. And I was so humiliated for the person.
And you love it. And you love it.
I loved every second of it, but I was so humiliated. I was like,
Like, is it like Larry David level?
So I'll go ahead and tell
Why don't
this.
you just?
I'll
Well,
go-
you know what? Let's just mix things up.
I'll start.
today.
I'll start
Why
this
don't
week.
you
Okay.
start this week? You were here first.
So first of all, I'm watching a show, which is rare for me. But White Lotus season 3
Yeah, I saw it dropped. I haven't had a
has
chance
started.
to watch it yet.
I've watched the first 2 episodes.
How many did they drop?
Just 1.
Okay.
So, but 2. It's been 2 weeks.
It's been
now.
2. Oh, I didn't realize it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I've seen both episodes. It's good. It's slow. It's slower moving. I feel like so it's not amazing. I'm not like glued to it. I'm not on the edge of my seat or anything. But I'm still curious to see where it's headed.
I'll tell you, the first 2 seasons were
Yeah.
fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, so the end of season 2 just broke my heart.
Yeah,
Doofy girl died on the boat there. I'm wondering if any of that's going to tie back into it.
So some of the characters, like the black lady that's the masseuse,
Yeah, yeah,
she's there,
yeah.
and
I
I
saw
want
her.
to say one other guy, this bald white guy. I want to say he might be.
That's a pretty good description.
So
there,
I want.
Bobby.
So I want to say that he might have been the one connected romantically to the doofy girl for a bit, but he clearly wasn't as committed to her as she kind of was to the idea of him.
gotcha.
But I can't tell if it's him or not because bald white guys all look the same. Which brings me to my next story. So I am in a store, and it's so we went to Tyson's, which we usually do for our anniversaries, right? We have
Where's that button?
Yeah. We celebrate both our anniversaries.
Just so we know, for the people, tell us about Tyson's, the mall.
I am.
Specifically.
I am.
Layout.
So there's 2 malls.
Well, I know, but I know which one he was at.
So we always start with the one with there's
The bougie and then the regular.
no, we start with there's a bougie one and then there's like a regular one, but even the regular one is like kind of bougie. It's
High
It's a
class.
high
rich
end
area.
mall. Yeah.
Tyson's 2 is a rich.
yes, it's a very wealthy area.
I don't think anybody's selling any bootleg soccer jerseys in the middle of that mall, are they?
No. But you can get like stuffed Air Force Ones and Jordans. They're like plushy. Anyway, so
Oh, the house shoes?
no.
Oh.
They're like stuffed animals for your
God.
bed.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what we are.
So like I went to the first one, the one with like Macy's and Bloomingdale's and Nordstrom. It's like it feels weird to say the cheaper one, but the cheaper one
Of the 2.
Yeah, of the 2. And then we went over to the other one, right? And we stay at the hotel at the other one. So we go there second. Now, to those that are listening, this place it's in a very, very, very almost disgustingly wealthy area, and as a result, it is contrary to popular belief, it is a huge melting pot of people. For instance, I saw
People that are rich, people that think they're rich.
so that too, that too,
that's true.
But that definitely
People
too.
that are hanging around waiting for some rich person to slip.
So there's often a lot of Middle Eastern people,
Yep.
and this time specifically. And I don't want to pretend to be an expert because I'm not on the different cultural nuances and so forth, but that sort of stuff interests me. But I believe they were Saudi. They had like the pristine, like white ensembles and everything. Like it just looked like the shit I see on the news or in TV. You know what I mean? When we're dealing with Saudi Arabia. and there's the by far the biggest racial swath there, by far the overwhelming majority, Asians. Very, very
Crazy rich Asians.
very crazy rich Asians. I can't comment actually on the crazy element, but very rich Asians, right? Just decked out, every single one of them, and it's impressive. Like it's the amount of pride that they take in their presentation is like, damn, like no wonder they were doing all the makeup and shit back in the day, because like the kabuki, because like this shit is put together, like the robe, like the ceremony, like just like you could tell there's like this cultural component still there.
And we're just stupid white people.
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm just from a cultural standpoint.
Yeah.
They've got that lineage to that culture.
Well, I
and
think
we've got
I think that's like, but they're all in like Dior,
Vikings and potatoes.
but they're all like in Dior and Louis
Yeah,
Vuitton.
yeah.
It's all that shit. But it's like you could tell like their outfit is laid out, like the small little nuanced things of like the earrings matching the belt buckle and shit. Just shit that I pick up on, like attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
It's an insane amount of attention to detail that's impressive. Anyway, these two young Asian ladies were walking into a store, and the salesperson at the store, and it was Yves Saint Laurent, like it was a high end store, where customer service, like they feature.
That's that YSL belt buckle for those of you.
Yeah, they give you like
Doesn't know how to
champagne and all
say
that
it.
shit when you go in there to shop. It's the whole deal.
Run your credit.
So they walk in, and this lady says, it was a young black lady that was working there, and she said, "Hey, twins?"
Oh no. Oh no.
Said this to who now?
The two Asian ladies that walked in. And I was like, so I saw it from the back, right? I saw it from the back, and I was like, maybe they're wearing like the same shirt or something that I can't see because they had jackets on, And I was like, and then I heard him say, "No." And I was like, "Oh God! Oh God!"
What would possess you to say that?
That's like Michael Scott cringy
Oh my god.
chair model.
And she wasn't trying to be rude.
Just being in conversation.
Yeah, she was like, "Hey, ladies, like, are you guys twins?" And they're like, "No." And she was like, "Oh, you guys just
No. It's just like it's almost never a good idea. To say that,
it's like
to say that of a different to people of different race.
It's also like are you pregnant? It's like a fair question, but it's
you
just
don't
it's
ask
just
it.
inappropriate.
Like in Norbit, when that guy says to a very fat Eddie Murphy, "Are you wearing bottoms?"
of course I'm wearing bottoms.
Yeah, you love that. Yeah, so
That's just cringy all the way
it was very
around.
cringy. It was very cringy.
Oh my goodness.
Let me see what else I got in here. So we went to, that was kind of like our big thing. We went to
Happy anniversary, by the way.
Thanks.
How many years is that?
20 years married.
Wow, that's a big one. What is
Yeah.
that?
I have no fucking idea.
It's probably something silly like bound cardboard or something like.
Yeah.
No, it's a big one. It's probably aluminum. I had to look up 20 for somebody. recently.
Aluminum used to be like extremely expensive back in the day because they didn't know how to harvest it properly.
And they called it aluminium.
Yeah, I mean that was like the fineries you put out. If you had like aluminum dinnerware back in the day, that's what you put out.
So I went to we went to Tyson's on Friday, and like we got to go as soon as the kids went to school. So we had all Friday, all Saturday, and then Sunday morning we picked them up at like noon. So we had a nice bit of time to ourselves.
It's platinum, by the way.
Okay, well, yeah, we definitely didn't do that. I did buy her a pair of Chloe shoes though, like wedges. That are nice. That are nice.
Filth-Mart jeans.
Oh, well.
Take that off. I don't know. Just throwing some J at you, man.
Yeah, she anyway, so we go down there, we're walking around. I actually didn't find a whole lot for myself, which is fine because it's just about like being away, and there's very few things that my wife and I enjoy together. Shopping is one, eating is one, drinking is one, and then like conversation is one.
And fucking too, probably.
Yeah, fucking. So which we got to do a fair amount of too, which was nice. But so there was I was trying to think. We a pizza place down there is pretty good. Ate there. Sounds like boring talk, but I'm trying.
You love your pizza though.
I do love it. And then so anyway, the next day, we left and went to the Illusions museum.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Shit is trash.
How big is it?
Trash. So it's hard to say.
We are at the 1 year anniversary of the Willie's chocolate factory experience. Remember that awful experience? It's been a year, so we're ready for another bad.
Yeah, this was pretty.
It's like a traveling show.
No, it's a museum.
It's one of those rooms where it looks normal, DC. And then you walk up to it and you look really small.
So is it like going to Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Yes, it feels like a Ripley's Believe It or Not, and actually, I feel like it feels a little less sophisticated
like a rip-off
than a Ripley's Believe It or Not. It feels like almost a carnival sideshow. Now, don't get me wrong, there was things I enjoyed about it, but by and large,
not impressed.
I won't be going back.
I mean, I do like me at Ripley's Believe It or Not.
I do too.
Here and there when I'm at the beach or whatever the fuck.
I do too. I would prefer to have gone to Ripley's Believe It or Not over this extravaganza. But there was shit like, tilted floors at one end. You stand in one part, you look huge. You stand in the other part, you look small. There was like a lot of mirror stuff, like tricks with mirrors and all that kind of shit. There was one room where like you walk in. I've seen this at Ripley's too, to be fair. But you like walk in on this like bridge and there's a spinning thing around you, and it feels like the fucking bridge is gonna tip over. And actually,
that's in most haunted houses.
Yeah,
now,
and then you start leaning to one side.
Yes. And I've never had a problem with any of that stuff in my past. I got a little nauseous.
Oh,
I was like, I wonder if that's something happening to my body.
It's just getting old.
Yeah. What else? There was a thing that was like this red square. Like there's a bunch of like red sticks and rectangles and whatever, and then there's like
shapes.
And yes, but they're all like the same shape. They're like just different size rectangles in one square. And so Laura sits on the square, and it's like 20 feet back from me, and I'm standing at this location, and then they take a picture, and the way the sticks all line up, it looks like Laura is sitting in a huge chair next to me as a very small person.
That's cool. Those are always neat.
And you know what, Christopher, that's a great word for it.
It's neat. I mean, I love seeing those scrolling through my feed. I get those ones. That's cute.
That's really cool.
That's cute.
Yeah. So stuff like that, which was fine. And then
that would be a good album cover.
And then I'm trying to think if we did anything else. We came back home, napped, and then just did some more eating and drinking and fucking. A lot of it though, and got dirty, got nasty with it, little nasty freakazoids. But we needed, because they also took the dog.
Oh,
her parents took the dog.
It
was just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, it was good. It was well, much needed, I think. And we had to have some like pretty honest conversations. And
on the tub?
No, we didn't do it.
No tub time. It's been a while since you had tub time.
It's hard with the cold weather, But then. And also, we kind of kicked it off Thursday, even though the kids were still around, but they went to school. She was off, I was off, and we hung out, and then led to a good conversation that day, just the two of us talking and shit, and it was interesting. A worthwhile venture. And then I haven't really done a whole lot else. I've been watching a lot of South Park. Just to kind of go to sleep to, and I had a Zoom meeting on Patreon this past Sunday, and how
many people you have show for that?
So I'm not really sure. Laura's the one that runs it. I think it's significant. There's usually like
are we talking 20 people, 40 people?
I would say between 20 to 40.
Okay.
Like and they come and go, so to speak. I would say 20 to 30 is probably a more accurate. Accurate. You better relax. But anyway, I was I make all this shit, right? And in the hopes that somebody enjoys it. And there's some stuff that I know is always going to be enjoyed, right? Mm-hmm. A Transformers review, specifically, right? A masterpiece is going to always be enjoyed. Everybody's going to enjoy it, and good. I'm happy that I can do that. I have a show on there where it's me and the guy Sam. You guys know, he's he designed some third party stuff, and we talk about Transformers pretty intensely on it's the most in-depth Transformer discussions that I've ever had in my life, and we have those, and they're very well received, right? And I can set my watch to that and know that people receive it, but like the other stuff that we do on there, sometimes it's like without the metrics of like likes and comments, like I don't really know how they're being enjoyed, or if they're being enjoyed, or if they're even being consumed sometimes,
sure.
you know? But anyway, for whatever reason, and it certainly wasn't my doing, the first like probably 20 minutes of the hangout, maybe 15 minutes of the hangout was them talking about the Bobby Boogie Bob show. And like, so like there was so many of them had like some really nice things to say. Like I was like, oh my God, like I'm complimented by this. Like, thank you for that nice compliment.
I'll be honest with you. I figured it was just if your third favorite Transformer fought your fifth favorite Transformer underwater.
Yeah. Does it offset the? Did you notice the windows are different on the arm?
Yeah. What Transformer do you think builds the best sandcastle? Oh, I don't know.
Beachcomber.
Let me give it some real thought.
I'm gonna say the Constructicon.
But yeah, like I did a Black Sabbath one recently. And somebody said, like, they were a Black Sabbath fan, but they were like, two things that you said in that shit, like, were like pretty profound and like kind of framed it in a way that I've felt but never verbalized. But it was one that was, I had said that Black Sabbath is kind of the beginning of changing of the guard musically from what is about skill to what is about mood. Like, if you look at the landscape prior to Black Sabbath, it's like, so-and-so, like, Eric Clapton and fucking Cream and fucking, Jimi Hendrix, for Christ's sake, and like these people that were like maestros of, musicians. Mm-hmm. And then you get into Sabbath, and Sabbath just like playing 3 chords like the whole 4-minute song, but it's moody and it's dark and it has a vibe. And
what year did they come out?
69
Nice
ish, I want to say.
Right at the same time. So the Doors were doing their stuff around that same time, I think.
I would guess so. The Sabbath went through the 70s. And they changed, right? They split, and then the one became like a revolving door. Actually, they both kind of became a revolving door in their own right. But that was one, and then I had made a comment on there that when heavy metal lost the blues is when it started to get corny, in my opinion. And he was like, it's not something that people say, but he was like, but it's fucking true, like when they started singing about like, like slaying dragons and like being like the grand, the grand knight of darkness or whatever. It's like they lost the blues and then they kind of became cheesy to me, But anyway, and then like some people are on there like, someone was like, you could probably, no bullshit, how in depth some of that shit goes and how conclusive it is and how like, like just full, like there's no room for anything else. It's like the whole fucking story. You could probably package and sell it. Mm-hmm. Like, and it was just a nice thing. It was a nice thing to hear because I put a lot of time into that show specifically. Like I did tons and tons of research just to make sure I got all my notes and all my shit together. I don't miss anything. Like
picking the first and last song.
Picking the first and last song. I listened to all the albums. I organized it all. Like I put a ton of work into it, and then like I'll put it out and it'll get like 3 hearts and 4 comments, and I'm like, oh okay, guys. Well, I liked it. I had a good time. But then like to hear people like, no. I love that shit. Like it was very heartwarming. Like it put some say my heart grew 10 sizes that day.
Does it show, the analytics show you how many people download?
Well, I mean, the unfortunate part of that is that it is, because of what it is a limited scope of audience. Mm-hmm. I feel like it is something that would be vastly enjoyed in the grand scheme of things if it was out in the ether. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, kind of put a little bit of battery back in my back with that stuff a little bit. So
ever thought of timed exclusive like Xbox do or PlayStation do?
What does that mean?
Like after fucking year, 2 year, 3 years, whatever it is, like you release it to the public.
Oh yeah,
Patreon stuff. Like it's like a long time.
Well, the problem with that is the music attached to it.
The licensing and
put it out.
Right. But I have a series I've been doing on Patreon on Sit Down Saturday of the history of Chug, and I go all the way back to like
shout out to my Chug thugs,
all the way back to classics, and then I followed the whole line through, like, and it's pretty detailed. And Irish Andy was a huge help with it, and like and it goes all through from classics, Henkai, universe, generations, into Combiner Wars, into Siege and Earthspark and Power of the Primes, and
Earthrise,
whatever,
Combiner Wars,
Powder Primes,
Kingdom, and all. And it covers everything, and I've been doing it over the course of, it's going on over a year now. Just periodically, and I think when it's done, I'm gonna put together a mass cut of it.
Yeah, and put it out,
YouTube. And be like, this is the type of shit I'm doing over there. Because like some of the stuff I'm doing over there, because I don't have to worry as much about like whether or not it gets shared in the groups and reposted and all that. Like I'm able to kind of be a little bit more free in terms of like not having the hot button conversation. Right?
Yeah, you don't have to like worry about like censorship on mine. Just like you can just talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, so
having to like step around people.
So if something does come out that's topical and I got nothing else going on, like I'll cover it, right? Like the HasLab Lyokaiser, like it's topical. I wanted to cover it, but I was also able to like expand it a bit, go into the history of the character, the history of the toy, like shit like that. But then like if something's not like just like bubbling, I can just be like, look, like I'm gonna take a creator and just tell his story, like go through like his childhood and how he got into comics or whatever, and then but like that's connected to the Transformers franchise, and it's like it's just a cool thing to be able to do, like without any kind of worry about how it's going to be received.
Yeah, because you're just making whatever you want to make.
Yeah. I don't have to worry about it moving the machine forward.
Yeah,
which is nice. I feel like I went to a retirement party today for a dear friend of mine, a guy that like when I first started mopping, I rode with an awful lot in the mopping truck. To different, it was just him and I on a lot of the small, because they don't trust you with the big floors. You got to start with some small floors.
Is he a twist before you?
Big S pattern, S pattern guy. But rode with him an awful lot on really, the smaller vehicles, and got to spend arguably too much time. But he's retiring 25 years of doing it, and it was good to send him off, so to speak, and so that was cool. And it's weird because like it's like fuck, like these are the people that like were like my big bros in this shit.
No, you're the big bro,
and now they're retiring, and it's like fuck, like, and then and then I'll be that next wave, and then it's kind of like fucking
them wave.
The only other thing that I had to say, and I'm reluctant to maybe even bring this up because I'll probably never get it again, but so to speak, but there's a guy in my life, right, who had a huge impact on me as a man, like outside of my father, like kind of like instilled more principles in me of like being a man and like what it takes to be a man, and was younger than my father, so it was a little bit more tied to this era. And he was a supervisor of mine.
Your dad's like, how old was your dad?
My dad's 80. Born? My dad was 40 when I was born.
Okay.
So by the time I was able to have any kind of intelligent conversation, he was 53,
Yeah.
So anyway, he, this guy, he was a supervisor of mine, and, went on to do greater and much greater things other than being my supervisor. But, he is like a father figure to me. And like, and he ended up becoming pretty important in my company, in my organization. So, with that comes mixed feelings about how people feel about him, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of always know where his heart is, and I spend a lot of time defending him,
I know how that's like.
And so on and so forth, and because I know his heart, I know who he is, I know where his loyalties lie. Like I do get him, Anyway, like it's a joke that like he has told me good job like exactly 4 times, and I can tell you what times they were, like because they were that monumental. And I worked with him side by side for 6 years, and went on to stay in contact with him for another 12. But anyway, he like texted me when I was on my anniversary thing, and he texted me and he was just like, "Hey, I'm at the bar with this other guy who I know, and we're talking about you. I just want to let you know I love you."
Oh wow!
And I was like, "Fuck, man!" Like, like I don't know. It's been a lot of people showing a little appreciation for the boy. For
great
your boy.
Weekend.
Yeah, it's been.
Hey, I complimented you on your fit today.
You did.
And you don't even have on shoes, man.
I know. But yeah, it was just like fuck. Like between like the good conversations I had with Laura, this dude reaching out and giving me a little bit of love, which I could once hit. That's number 5. you know, and then the love I got on Bobby Boogie Bop, and then, you know, and then seeing this dude even retired, it was like good vibes. And so it was good. I've been in
a great week.
I've been in a healthy space mind wise with people around me, if not necessarily everywhere, but if, you know what I mean, within me, people around me have made me feel good, you know, recently. So
that's great, man.
Yeah. Chris, you got your coffee first. Joe, how was your nerd week?
I finished What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's very nice. It's 6 seasons. I mean, I understand. I wanted to go on for more because I just enjoyed it. Like it's weird because the first episode I was really like not sure if I was on board. I was gonna like not keep watching because it seems really like cheesy, right?
I agree, and it really is on the surface.
But then like. But then I bought into it. And I started to like the people, and I just bought into the craziness of it. And like by the time they ended, it's just like, oh, it's kind of bittersweet. I was like, oh, I could use more of this. But at this time, they've told the stories that they need to tell, I think.
What did you think about the way they ended it with the documentary's ending? So we don't know what we're gonna do bit.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
That's pretty clever.
I think it's clever. And we've done this before.
And I like when they were all working in the office. The banana phone bit where she just kept on playing. Oh gosh, those characters are great, man.
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
those characters, like as silly as they are, it is what it is.
Who is your favorite character?
Probably Nandor. Is it Nandor?
Nandor the Relentless.
Or what's his face? The British guy.
Oh, Matt Berry.
Yeah,
Matt Berry's great at everything he does.
He's fucking great.
His inflection makes no sense.
Yeah, but
he pulls
it's
it off.
perfect. I guess no. And they have great cameos.
Guillermo.
I don't know what any of those people do other than this show, but
yeah,
I can't imagine.
The girl that plays Nadja she's a British sitcom actress.
Okay.
Cody showed me something else she was in, but yeah, that was a really good show. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it wrapped up good.
Yeah, I think it ended before it got stale. And I think if they kept pushing it, I would have eventually gotten tired of it.
And it's digestible. I mean, they're 30-minute, 22-minute episodes, so you know they're easy to watch. And
there's an overall kind of arc, but they're also like episodic and just easy to watch and just like kind of wholesome. Other the fact that they do actually kill a lot of people.
The Airbnb one was pretty good. The next door neighbor was. They thought they were shapeshifters. Bobby. It turns out the lady who owned it was a shapeshifter, but it was an Airbnb and there was always different people there, so they thought they were shapeshifters. And turns out at the end that was a shapeshifter that was doing it.
But yeah, they do feed on people and do actually kill a lot of people. So like it's like a mixed feelings kind of thing. These guys are villains.
Yeah,
but they don't act as if they were villains.
And I like that the show is not about them feeding, right?
No.
It's
incidental murder.
Like the most bodies that were laying around was when he was building his. We didn't call it his. He was building a Frankenstein monster. When they took that guy out, when him and Colin Robinson were like trying to find the right person, and he was faking being an Uber driver and picking up people to find like the body they wanted to start with. Man, it's very good. Very good.
I did watch. I forget. I watched Some Idiot Abroad with the kids on Sunday.
Nice. Are they still more new ones? Right?
No, it's all the old ones, but they're so good.
Pilkington?
Yeah,
fucking fake ass name.
I know. It's funny. I got a buddy of mine at work that always mixes your name up with his name.
Pilkington. I'm glad I'm on topic of conversation.
Yeah, because he'll be like, wait, because I'll be like, Carl Pilkington. And he'll be like, wait, and your friend is Pinkerton. And I'm like, okay, I got it. But anyway, they go to Jordan to like see that like ancient civilization in Jordan. There's like in Indiana Jones and fucking Transformers and everything else.
Of course,
it's like sand and the rock and all that shit. And just his point of view is just so fucking interesting, but he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. It's just
it's
just shit you wouldn't say.
And he was like, I would rather live in the cave across from it. And they're like, what? But there's a palace, it's like ancient palace. He's like, yeah, but how often do you get to see it? If I lived in this cave, I get to see it all the time. He's the one who's got to look in my cave. It's like ugly. Like it's nice to be ugly because you don't have to look at yourself in the mirror. and I get to just look around at beautiful people all the time. Like I get to luck out.
That's a pretty decent outlook
It's a
on life.
positive outlook on life.
That's like
And he's not a very positive person.
I don't need mirrors.
it's
in
like
this
silver
cave.
lining.
Yeah, so funny. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, and then there's a new season of Alone on Netflix.
Oh wow!
We already plowed through 8 episodes of it so far. They're in Tasmania this time, not
wow.
in Canada. So
it's hot, or it's
no, you think so? Because the only thing I know about
tropic.
Tasmania is a Tasmanian devil from Looney Tunes, not even the real
but
one.
it's
Looks
down
very
by,
different.
It's down by New Zealand, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
It's under Australia. It's close to the South Pole. It's close to Antarctica. It gets cold there, apparently. I did not know that.
Blimey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did not know that because it looks tropical. And even when it's really cold, it still looks tropical. But it's like a tropical rainforest. It like rains 200 plus days a year.
Joey, there's a show it's a survival show that's out. I don't remember the name of it, but the people are out doing the survival stuff, but like their family is in a studio watching and can press the button whenever they feel like they've had enough or
To
whatever.
throw in the towel for
Yeah.
them? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so me and Kelly were like, what would be you'd have to have some sort of code word to be like, I don't know. It's like, what do you figure out?
It's a
Like,
little
what
too
would I
sunny
never say?
today.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
I'd be
gosh. I
pissed,
sure
though.
would hate to eat a steak right now.
Bro, it's like, what's his face? Not Rocky Balboa, the other guy. Apollo. Don't throw in the towel and then he dies.
Oh, yeah.
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 Or you throw in the towel and get mad because they still have more fight in them.
Maybe that's what happened in JCC.
Hey, shop till you drop.
I don't think they were actually there for the show, but it's still funny.
In my
to
mind,
say.
they were.
They were. They never did get to buy that broken his tank they were looking for.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's interesting because however many fucking seasons I've watched of Alone is always somewhere fucked up, like environmentally. Not that this place is not fucked up, but it just seems much nicer in general because most of the other seasons are like frozen by like month 2 or whatever,
Yeah.
and they have no food and they have to boil water. And this place just seems much nicer. It's just wet. I know that psychologically speaking, like
What kind of horrible-
wetness, so to speak, is really
is.
bad for mental health.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And it gives you trench foot really bad too if you don't keep your socks dry.
But like you're not literally freezing to death.
So what are the predators there? What kind of horrible
Tasmanian
creatures?
devils.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently they have the biggest bite per weight for like marsupials, whatever of animals in the world. They have like
Yeah.
the biggest bite, so
Do
like, they can tear your
spin?
face off.
They spin?
Unfortunately, I don't think
Where
they
the
do. I
hell they-
wish they did.
I'll be honest with you. Probably until I was well into adulthood, I didn't realize the Tasmanian devil was a real creature. I just
Yeah.
thought it was this
My
crazy
dad told
cartoon
me.
guy.
My dad would also watch like Nova specials, so he would
Right.
educate me on all this shit.
You watch I watched the cartoon like that. Taz had his own cartoon, but like apparently. He was the retarded one of the family. He does that stuff and he's crazy, but like
Oh, they were all
They
sophisticated.
were all like suburbs, so wearing Hawaiian shirts and like talking proper, and he's just an idiot. You think? And he's giving Tasmanian devils the bad name.
Oh my god,
That was a good show.
That's funny. I do vaguely remember that because that was like when like his success took off, like the T-shirts and fucking
Yes.
Oh, geez. So like in the 90s where
Yeah.
everybody's
Yes.
wearing the like Bugs Bunny with the one overall flap.
Yes.
Yeah, that was literally high school for me.
And the
When that
white
was
trash
popular.
folks never really let it go. Like like they like.
I think they still wear that.
Yeah, you still like
you still see them.
the denim button up with like all of them like falling out of the pocket.
Man, I think I know what I'm gonna get to wear to Solstice this year. I'm gonna be dripped in Bugs Bunny.
I love that meme with that blonde girl that's like like so happily surprised, and it's like when you compliment the meth addict on her Tweety Bird pajama pants.
That's right.
But I don't know about the batch of contestants this year
Oh,
because they lost like 5 of them within like 10 days. The other seasons were like 60 plus days where they were in this like frozen fucking wasteland, and like there was like 2 people who quit within the first like 2 days.
I'll never forget the one I watched. The dude was talking all this mad shit, and like he did. One dude did. He didn't get off the boat. I don't think. Like he got off the boat and like immediately was like, "Nah, we ain't doing this shit."
I was either a cop or a military person.
Yeah. He's like, "No, nah, we ain't gonna do this." Sorry.
He got walked around, didn't even
which
start a
sucks
fire.
because like that could have been the next person. Right?
That's what I was thinking about.
Sucks about that.
When like the people quit, like like day one, it's always the family, man. You think you think you're out there trying to get this $250,000 to bring home to your family,
Yeah.
be the breadwinner.
Yeah.
But all the you see time and time again, he's like, I miss my family. They need me. Or like
5 days in,
or like I'm
You must
lonely.
not- you
I
must
miss
not
my
travel
family.
for a
I'm
living.
wasting time here. I'm like, bro, you're not gonna be out here for more than 2 fucking months. You're never gonna see $250,000 in 2 months. If you were, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Like your family could use that $250,000 more than the 2 months you're gonna spend with them that they're gonna fucking forget about.
Unless you're gonna die in 3 months.
Well, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
There was one year where a guy did quit because his mom was like had cancer or something.
Oh, yeah,
But like
yeah.
she gave him the blessings to go and stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna bring home the money," but then like he couldn't handle it. Which
that's fair.
that's fair. But like all these guys who are like, "Oh, I miss my family and shit." I'm like, bro, come on, man, eyes on the prize. But I don't know. I don't have kids. I don't know how.
Krista.
And Kat.
Yeah.
I feel like because mostly when I talk to parents, you guys, just like you just said, it was so good being away from everybody for the weekend. It seems like people don't want to be with their family all the fucking time.
Yeah, well, I think it's just like everything else, right? It's like absence makes the heart grow fonder. But like in the same breath, like, you know, if I'm away from them, like when they go away, sometimes they'll go with their grandmother to the beach, and Laura and I will have the whole week to ourselves. They'll leave like on Sunday and come back on Sunday, and like by around Thursday, like I start missing them. Like I want to
Really?
yeah. Like I'm like bring them back. I want to fuck with them, and you know, I miss them. But like like a good 2 to 4 days for me resets me. If I can just have really limited responsibility for 2 to 4 days, it resets me.
Yeah, I guess I mean, as I lived in conventional life, I guess, so it's different. You know, having moved away from my entire extended family at 10, and then being shortly thereafter sent to military boarding school for 4 years, where I saw my parents at most maybe once a week, at months on end without, and then. Yeah. So like to me, like being away from family is like, or being alone is normal.
Well, so like I kind of had a similar, I mean, vastly different, but you know, like I had my father worked 24-hour shifts. So he was often gone.
Yeah.
I only saw my brothers and sister on the weekends, you know, like I didn't get to have them all the time. I think that because my dynamic was not the norm either, I think it makes me appreciate the norm. You know, like I love like hanging out with my kids, and like, you know, every night we, you know, talk and chill and eat dinner, and like it's a good vibe, and you know, it's like I value it because like I never had it, you know.
Well, so do you not want them to, but like how long do you want your kids in your house? Do you want them out at 18?
No.
Is there because again, from different cultures, at my culture and some other cultures, it's normal for 3 generations to live in the same house indefinitely, right? It's not normal.
Yeah,
so like in America, it's even normal sometimes to be like
becoming the new normal.
Get out at 18 and never come back is also a normal here. So like I'm wondering where you both of you stand.
I mean, I've got a almost 23-year-old living with me, and almost 18-year-old that has no college aspirations living with me. So. That's a conversation my wife and I have been having is, what are we going to do? Like, you know, everybody's either you work. If you're going to work and you chip in whatever we say you need to chip in, you can stay as long as you want, as long as you're not causing trouble or anything.
Yeah.
Or if you're in school, you're in school.
Yeah, I think that.
But I'm not going to just have some bum ass living in my house.
Well, we're not talking about that because that's a different story.
one's. I mean, that
your
happened to mom.
preference of company.
Oh,
not as in you gotta get up on your own because you're not paying bills. No, we're talking about in good case scenario where you have a decent relationship with your kids, they have jobs or whatever. How long do you want them to be around, or is there a deadline for you?
So there's a difference because like you can want 2 things at the same time.
Of course,
you know. So like I want them to be around. Like
definitely,
I want them to be around because I enjoy being around them, but I also want them to live their own fucking life. So I want them to go out also.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, especially, I mean, like, and it's different because Jane is older, the other 2 are younger. But like Jane and I, like, are like we're on a level. You know what I mean? Like we have good conversations and good debates and everything. Like it's gonna be a big blow when she, you know, moves on. You know, but I also want her to go ahead and live her life. You know what I mean, and have all that encounters or means.
But if she wanted to stay around, you'd be
but there's also like you gotta push her out, because like she likes safety and comfort and all those sorts of things. So
she
like
doesn't want to drive.
right, exactly. So you gotta put her in the car and drive her across the street and make her drive, because you want her to be a functional.
So
human
it's
being.
so strange to me that like. I mean, the day I turned 16, I had my license.
Yeah.
I had a car
Same.
already paid for and was rolling.
Yep.
Yeah, I
couldn't
didn't
imagine.
I didn't get my license until I was
now,
18. Like I would get outside and walk wherever I wanted to go. I'd walk.
Yeah. I mean,
See,
Columbia
I
was
didn't
very
obviously
walkable.
have that.
And if I couldn't walk, I'd catch the bus, and
Didn't have that option.
and that was like So different
Alabama
necessity.
and Columbia, not the same.
Yeah, so necessity being the mother of
Quite
all
different.
invention.
Quite different.
So like it's my plan with them, and like for parenting, it's like you always have a plan, and then you realize that your plan ain't shit when that day comes. But I mean, my tentative plan is like after high school, you got to make some decisions. Mm-hmm. You can go into the military. Mm-hmm. You can choose a career, not a job, a career. Now that career doesn't necessarily need to be anything crazy. If you're like fucking Target, whatever. Like if you're like, hey, I want to work at Target, but I got a plan. If I work there on the floor for this long, I can get this. I can become a manager. I can become this. Like I want a trajectory to be something in this organ. Cool, you got a plan. Mm-hmm. I'm good with that. College, if you want to do college, I'll let you stick around. Now, I have money set aside for them for college. And they're welcome to it as long as I approve their choices.
You're not gonna let them just be like, I'm gonna.
So no art degrees?
Yeah, probably not. When it gets worse.
Well, it depends. I mean,
I want to have a master's in feminist literature.
Then you can
Perfect.
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. You're paying for it.
Yeah.
And once you get set up, after you become this very educated person, and you get your life set up, I'll bring this check over to your Section 8 apartment, and I will sign it over to you, and you're welcome to have it because it's your money as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not going to waste it on. I'd rather you spend it on microwavable food, than something to an institution that's not going to give you any return on your investment.
Yeah.
So then there's the on top of that, there's a trade school. And if you go those routes,
roofer, electrician, plumber.
I'm probably
trade school for roofers. You just show up drunk.
I'm probably not going to have that because I have 3 girls, and it's not to say that it doesn't happen, but I've never had a plumber show up and be a female. Just hasn't happened in my life.
Well, one of the people comes. We have a couple ladies and work
Great.
for the local plumbing place.
If they want to do that,
Yeah.
My electrician is a lady, and she's great.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, I say this cautiously, but one, college isn't for everybody, and
No,
two,
it shouldn't be
you
for
can make
everybody.
so much money without going to college.
some people
You know what I'm saying?
think
Even if
it's
you
like-
just get just like a certificate.
Well, like I think our next generation, not us, our next generation is in a good shape because our older generation sold us on this fucking stupid idea, and we found out it was a stupid idea, and we're not pushing it to mostly not pushing it to the next generation.
Yeah.
It's like our generation was told you have to go to college.
Yeah.
And then a lot of us went and we're like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Right. And then so now we're telling our kids, I'm not.
Or got out and worked at Toys R Us.
Yeah. You don't have to go to college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think and it's just like it's just like anything else. Like it's like if you want to be a plumber, then trade school is the right choice for you. Mm-hmm. If you want to be a surgeon, college is the right choice for you. You know what I mean? Like there are paths, but the problem is so many kids like I don't know what the fuck I want to do. Like college. Like that's not the answer.
That's not the answer. No, I mean that's what I went to college aimlessly for 3 years. I got a 2-year degree, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. Yeah, let me tell you. Shout out to John C. Calhoun Community College in Decatur, Alabama. And me having a degree now in my job. Truthfully, the job requirement is to have I'm supposed to have a 4-year degree for my job, but I had 20 years of experience.
I don't know when I wonder if that's ever going to go away because a lot of jobs now have it as a requirement to have a degree of any sort.
Yeah, right.
You need to have a BS. Why? It doesn't tell you.
Right.
It doesn't even have to have anything to do with your job. You just need a degree, and I hope that would go away at some point.
I mean, give you an example. My dad has an accounting degree and never accounted a day in his life.
Yeah, I worked for the state. And in social services, and it's the only job I've ever needed my degree for. Also, coincidentally, is the lowest paying job I've ever had in my adult life.
Yep.
But you didn't need it to do that job.
Yeah, but they needed it from you for whatever reason.
Right. But I can if I were to defend it, right? I could never defend a 4-year degree, but I could defend a 2-year degree.
A 2-year general studies degree.
General studies.
To be a more well-rounded person.
Yeah, more well-rounded person. And now it's different because kids don't necessarily go to campus anymore, but hopefully, theoretically, to go to campus, meet different types of people, interact with people, because you're going to be interviewing different types of people to see, there's some logic there.
I think there's a logic to a 2-year degree because also just the fact to show the discipline as an adult when no one's telling you to do something that you can do it. Because like after high school, right? I mean, how many? You guys both went to college. I went to college. I saw a lot of people just fucking float around and then drop out because they didn't know how to make themselves do things.
Yeah.
So like having a degree, 4 years too long to waste. But having a 2-year degree does show that you are a grown individual with responsibilities.
One of my big things was like I used to see like the kids that graduated high school still hanging out at the high school parties.
Oh, because the girls stay the same age.
And I used to think to myself,
but
I used to think to myself, like, I'm not going to be that dude.
You weren't going to be the guy that brings the cigarettes.
You're not going to be the cool. Because like it's funny, right? Because
when you hang out for a little bit.
When you're in high school, that's the cool dude. But when you graduate, you realize this guy's a loser.
Yeah,
right. Because he's like, he's the guy who's the cool dude who's like bringing you alcohol and stuff. And then
I was like, I'm not going to be that dude. Like it was like. I don't know. I saw it happen a couple times, like with
to your friends or
specific characters, you know. And I was like, I'm not going to be like that fucking bozo.
Yeah, I mean, in general, people get stuck in time. In general, like people in their 50s still talk about. I mean, we talk about high school sometimes, but some people talk about high school like it was yesterday, and like their entire I have 4 touchdowns in a single game.
Al Bundy, buddy. I have to think about like. Unfortunately, like I was thinking about something about high school the other day, and I really had to like put my wheels to turning to really pull some names up and stuff.
I can talk about it, but it's never like the high school football stats. It's just like these like incredibly funny or interesting or entertaining stories.
Oh, like a prostitute substitute teacher, like I told the other day. Yeah.
Yes. Well, one time I had a buddy of mine, Gary. Name was a very specific spelling: Geary.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I bet you he has a lot of trophies spelled wrong.
Yeah. And also interesting.
Geary.
And his father worked in the music business. And it's interesting because this dude would lie. Like, I liked him because he was funny and entertaining and fun to be around, but you just couldn't believe a word he fucking said because he was a fucking liar.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. I think we've probably all at some point had that person in our circle. You just know.
You don't take it serious.
You just don't take it serious.
So I said to him, he was like, my father works in the music industry. And I was like, of course he does. Right?
Sure, yeah.
He was like, no. So anybody out there,
is the LA Reid?
If you have the Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the Hood soundtrack, look in the insert, and there's a song called It's Time by Blue Raspberry, and look at the name of the person that produced it.
I think you might have you told this story before?
Probably.
It seems familiar.
So anyway, one time in school, we were in this like staircase, and he and I were talking because we were friends. And he was a funny dude, but this girl came up and just fucking laid into him about something, just with like all the fucking motherfucker, you're just like all like just like ugh, shut up, you know. And he was looking at me the whole time. He never even looked at her. She was to his right, and he just took his hand and put it around her face and held her whole face. And she just stood there, and he finished the conversation with me, and then was like, "Now what are you talking about?" Like. He was funny. He used to always like quote Goodfellas like all the time, you know, like, and I love Goodfellas, you know, similar to how you feel about Casino, and like right. You know, I'm a fan of that fucking movie, but like I like other movies too, you know. So he would wear me out sometimes with that shit. He would just like. So one day I was with him, and he like said some random line. He was like, "What movie is that from?" And I should have just guessed, but I was driving and I was fucking, you know, distracted, and I was like, I don't know, man. And he was like, Goodfellas. And I was like, oh, of course it was. And then I was like, I got one for you. What are you? I'm Batman. What movie is that from? And then he just started laughing. And he was like, ain't that a bitch? And I was like, what? And he's like, this motherfucker went out and bought a bat suit with a logo with a bat on it with a car that looks like a bat, and motherfuckers still don't know who he's supposed to be. But that was the thing about him, is he was funny too, you know. So it was like,
I mean, this like healthy nostalgia versus being stuck in. That's two different things. It was just stuck in a time.
I ever tell you about the time that he took us to Park Heights to get a bag of weed? So this is a good one. So this is like, I mean, this is fucking, we're in high school, and he claimed to be from Park Heights, right? And if anybody
fill everybody in on
Park Heights is a troubled neighborhood. It's near the horse track, where they what is the horse race they have? It's like a big horse race.
Not Palmetto.
It starts with a P though, I think. It's a big deal. And they have this horse race down there, and it's right by there.
Yeah, it's one of the Triple Crown races.
Yeah.
And I can't think of it right now.
And
someone is screaming.
And I think they're thinking about moving it because, I mean, this area is, you know what I mean? It's a rough part of town. Yeah. So he claimed to be from there, and who knows, he may have been, or his family may have been. His sister,
the Preakness.
Yeah,
Preakness. Yep. His sister danced at Club Oasis on the block. So like,
it's like you dancing on the pole.
Yeah. So you just never knew where the bullshit was and where the truth was. Like he said that, we're like, sure. And then we were at Oasis, and I was like, tomorrow? That was like her name. I was like, she was like,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
That was her stage name or her God-given name?
God-given name.
Both.
Yes. It was named after she was named after a Strawberry Letter 20. The people who did Strawberry Letter 22. She was named after one of their songs. Strawberry Letter 22.
Okay.
Anyway,
that's specific.
Yeah, just very strange.
This guy's life is very specific.
It was. He was an interesting character. I would love to. I haven't talked to him in years because we had a bit of a falling out because people were going to hurt him, and I paid these people so that they wouldn't hurt him.
Sounds like he owes you a favor. You should get him out here.
Yeah. Well, then he said he would pay me back, and I think I got a chicken box and $20 one time, but doesn't matter. So anyway. He's gonna
you
go
have a wildlife too.
Yeah, I have. So we want to fucking get a bag, and he's got a guy, right? So we're gonna go to fucking Park Heights to his people, and we're going down fucking Park Heights, and there's a guy standing outside who, I mean, I don't know this guy, you know, but. Just with my eyes fucking open, I might ask if he knew a guy that might be able to help me out with some fucking drugs. And turns out this is the guy that Gary knows, right? Just coincidentally. So he's like, "Oh, stop right here. I know this guy." All right. So I'm in the back with Gary. Stal and Trees are in the front. And Stal is a pretty white boy, like he looks like he could have been the last member of NSYNC that just never made the cut. Dresses like it too, like khaki pants, like he had style. He was cool, he was slick, but he wasn't like a street guy, right? Like he didn't present that way. And he's been in some bullshit, but he just didn't present that way, right? So anyway. Gary gets out and he goes to this guy. Stal gave him money. He goes to this guy. He comes back, got the weed, and he's like, "Yeah, I know the guy, so yeah, I got it." And Stal's like, "Cool, give me my change." And he's like, "You didn't tell me you gave me a 20." And he's like, "You didn't look? Go get my fucking change, Gary." And Gary's like, "You can't do that. You just can't do that." Now this guy has already gone in the cut.
Yes,
already
left.
Yeah. So we wait a minute, and Stal's like, "I'm getting my fucking money back." So this guy comes back out of the cut, and he's like, "You're gonna get the money from your friend, or am I gonna have to get it?" And he was like, "You can't go get it." And he's like, "All right." Stal hops out the car, closes the fucking car door. We're just watching him like, what the fuck? You know, he looks super out of place. Walks over to this guy. You can see he's having a conversation. Comes back. We're like, "You get the money?" He's like, "Of course I got the fucking money." And like, "What happened?" He's like, "I went over there. I was like, look, my dumbass friend just gave you a 20 without checking. I just need my change." And then the dude went into his pocket and counted. He's like, "Oh yeah, he does." And then gave me my $10 back. And my man Gary said, "Lucky I know him." You just never knew when it was going to be bullshit, you know?
It's good fucking good times.
You know? So, yeah, sorry about all that.
No. This narrator is about sidebars. That was often talking about alone. I don't think it. I'm not sure I got the answer to the final answer to the question. If all goes well, your kids are doing fine in their life, but they want to live with you. Are you okay with that? They're like,
so no,
you're not okay.
No, because
she was like, you can just renovate the room above the basement into a studio, and I want to live there.
No, because I want them to spread their wings.
Okay.
Like I want them to go live their life, and even I want them to stay, but I want them to go
for their
them.
own good.
Yeah.
Okay, but you would in your heart you want them to stay,
Correct.
but you know it's better if they
go.
if they left.
Correct.
But not too far. Maybe hopefully within
Yeah,
driving distance.
I would love for them to
If
stay
she
local.
was like, I'm going to go to Washington. What is in Washington?
Seattle?
Not DC. Seattle. I'm going to go to Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, hopefully I would prefer that they stay close, but because I want to be a grandparent, like I want to do all that. I want that life experience, but like if they
You got 3 kids. The chances of all 3 of them are going to be around in America is not huge, right?
So I'd say the chance of them being in America statistically is probably huge. The chances of them staying local is probably not.
No, I mean culturally in America, having 3 kids all within driving distance, it's not normal.
Right. So I'm guessing that they'll probably at least one will move away. But if any of them stay, I'll stay. Like I'll ride it out. Like because I want to be involved in the kids' life. Now if they all fuck off, then all bets are off.
Then you can go to North Carolina
or West
Virginia and
or
throw
West
the
Virginia.
tractors.
I can take my shirt off and spin it around my head like a helicopter. But no,
underrated.
It was a good record. But no, just somewhere that would be more because I don't really like it hot.
You wouldn't go move close to one of them at least.
Maybe it would depend on taxes. For my like it sounds
Delaware.
crazy, but it would.
Florida.
Tennessee doesn't have income tax. Florida doesn't have income tax.
It would
Texas
Tennessee has a lot more meth than Delaware, I think.
It would depend on probably.
There's meth everywhere, buddy. Don't worry.
I mean, I know. Trust me, I know. But you want to move to an area with less meth, I would think.
It would depend on
how involved in the meth game. Do something in retirement.
That's fair.
It would depend on how what I could afford.
I mean, you and Laura has retirement plans. Like you guys are mostly.
I mean, I have capital R, capital P retirement plans. Laura has lowercase r and then a different font, lowercase r, P retirement plans. That bitch is gonna be working until she's 80, and I'm gonna be sitting wishing her a good day every day when she goes to take her
have
ass
a good
to
day, work, honey. You and kids, you okay with your kids?
I mean,
or are you want to be close to them for grandkids wise, or you don't give a fuck?
I'm not worried about that part of it as much as I want them to get on with their life, but I don't want to put them out. Like my wife basically got put out on the street.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not that normal.
As an 18-year-old, and had to do some pretty despicable things to get by until her grandma kind of saved her, and she moved to Alabama with a banjo on her knee and met a couple dipshits, married a couple dipshits.
Alabama.
Now she lives in Maryland, so
yeah, fair.
But I think that 26 is when I'm really. That's my. But once again, it's dependent because if Jane is in graduate school and shit, I'm gonna ride it out with her. But for the most part, they've got till they're 26.
That's when insurance runs out.
So there's a lot of things
that's the frontal lobe closes or whatever the fuck.
There's a lot of things
developed
that by that point,
yeah.
if you ain't got it together. So, and here's the other thing, and I'm going to delete this episode. If they're just fucking around, they're paying rent, like he said.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to put it away.
Yeah, for them later on,
and then cut them a check when they get their shit together. But if they don't have their shit together by a certain time, I'm going to be like, hey, look, I know you ain't got your shit together, and I wish you the best of luck. This is going to get you started. This little bit of money that you've been giving me over the past, but you got to go.
Bobby, we gonna talk about this realty card you've been flipping around?
Sorry.
I want to talk to Samson. Fly me to the moon.
Like that bitch Alice crammed. I'm thinking about relocating. No, a buddy of mine who was here last night.
I'm just fucking with you. I saw that.
But not for nothing. Feel this fucking business card. It's the most impressive. It's the most impressive business card I've ever felt in my life.
Are we in American Psycho territory now?
I have to bring you one of mine.
Yeah, you got him. It's like.
Oh, it's a nice stick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't give a fuck about business cards, but that's a fucking solid business
I believe that's a 4-point business card. That's how the weight of the paper. That is a nice business card.
Yeah.
That's kind of it's interesting. Like, you used to go, like, in my job, hey, here's my card. Give me your, and it's getting rarer and rarer.
Put in your Rolodex.
Yeah, honestly, I have them in a stack, rubber banded together on my desk. So when I need to call some person, maybe. Oh, that's a good show.
One of my coworker has a side business, and she's like with it. She doesn't hand out business cards like that. She has a QR code.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh yeah, that's smart. That's much better than having someone flip through. I don't know anyone our age group really use or lower uses business cards that much.
So
when I get handed business cards, it's like automatically trash to me. I'm going to throw this away now.
So I don't use them the way that I think the generation before us uses them. I use them. It's a very time stamped thing for me. I am looking for a kitchen table. You make kitchen tables. I want your business card. I'm going to put it in my wallet, and I'm going to get my kitchen table within the next couple months. And when that happens, it's either going to be related to your business card, or I'm going to throw your business card in the trash. But either way, as soon as I take your business card, I'm taking it for a very specific reason, and the clock has started. It's not going to be there forever. The clock has started on that fucking business card, and it's getting thrown in the trash probably within 3 months.
Yeah, because for me, it's automatic trash. Because whenever I want something, like a table or whatever, I will then look for a person or a place to do what I need to do. Because like I'm not gonna have a card just sitting. I don't know. It's weird to me when I do get business cards because like
I just keep them in my wallet, and like I probably have like 3 in there right now, and I think one's for the table, and one is for something work related, and then I got another one that's not worth talking about, but like. When that happens, like when I'm getting this table, that one business card is going right in the trash, and I'm done.
Pinkerton's got some.
No, I have a hotel key.
From JCC?
It is. So
you had to pay pay money back for that?
No, actually, I'm saving every hotel key I get this year just to see.
I thought some hotel charge you if you don't return your keys.
None of the ones I stay in.
Oh, you fancy?
Hey, I stay across the board, man. Don't worry.
Lastly, I watched Long Legs.
Okay.
It's a horror movie. I want to like it more than I actually
like. What, like, you talking about like 36 length pants, 38 length pants?
No, it's just Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I've heard it's not great.
No, that's the unfortunate part because like it's shot well.
I've heard that too.
Atmosphere is great.
I've heard everything is good but the movie.
But like the story, I mean, even the story itself. It had merits. You could have done it differently. Like you could have done you had a great director. There was the cinematography was great. The story had legs, so to speak.
Yeah.
But like it just wasn't done well. I don't know how else to explain it.
Didn't I send you that meme about the long legs? They're like, what are we gonna call this spider with 8 long legs?
Yeah.
I was thinking long legs. Like, nah, throw some freaky shit in front of that.
It's not kinky enough.
Yeah, daddy long legs.
Granddaddy.
But yeah, I mean, visually it was good, atmospherically it was good, audio was good. Like, but part of the problem is like they have this. It's set up like a mystery kind of thing, right? But then that's the bad trope of where the exposition of the entire story of everything happens in the last like 5-10 minutes. So like almost nothing mattered,
right,
in the first hour and a half because there was nothing you could have done with that information anyway.
Right.
It was just going through the paces just to tell you everything at the end. So I wanted to like more. I didn't hate it, but I don't quite recommend it unless you're just in for the vibes. And that's it.
Okay. Christopher.
So I went to NJCC this weekend. Kelly went with me. So it was a nice little getaway for us as well. Yeah.
Very romantic.
Hey,
Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Listen, those beds are
dead bodies and shit.
Away. So the restaurant there, you haven't been there in years. So the Red, White, and Blues is
connected
gone.
one. Yeah.
So now I don't even know the name of it. They have decent food there. The service is pretty slow. So Kelly and I were going to eat there, and on Friday nights they have live music.
Nice.
No. So it's a guy with backing vocals singing an array of different songs. So we actually sat down. We're going to eat, and I'm like, about 2 songs in, I'm like, yeah, I can't do this.
Really?
I can't do
that
it.
bad.
I just couldn't. I didn't want to sit there and try to eat dinner, with my wife while this guy's. And there's like these 2 groups of the 2 like high top tables with people that are obviously there for him. And I would say Granny had on her sparkle sweater. So
no doubt.
He apparently has a very small but specific audience. But he plays from 6:30 to 9:30, or he sings from 6:30 to 9:30.
That's a hell of a show.
Yeah, 3 hours?
Plenty of breaks in there, I'm sure. But We left. We're like, let's just go. Like, let's try to go to the Cheesecake Factory. There's a Cheesecake Factory.
Fancy.
Well,
That's one of those Italians too.
You couldn't stir them with a stick, man. Everybody was out. So we ended up going to Panera Bread, which I hadn't been to Panera in a long time.
Panera.
The last couple of times I've been to Panera, it's been trash.
It's fancy fast food, bro.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
And I will say they've got their shit together because the sandwiches they had were on point.
How bad could Panera Bread be? Where did you go?
I'll tell you, I got breakfast there a couple times.
At where you live?
I don't remember which Panera it was.
Okay.
I don't have one in my town.
I don't.
There's one in like Westminster, and then I don't know. They're all over the place, but
Yeah, I just never recall having a bad Panera experience.
so the reason it was bad is because we got breakfast there one morning. It was supposed to be like a sausage, egg, and cheese bagel, and it was just an egg patty and a sausage patty on a plain bagel. And it's like, what is this? And then I went to like a corporate event, and they had Panera, like they had catered breakfast, and it was the same shit. I'm like, this is garbage food.
Maybe they just don't have good breakfast.
I don't know. It had been good in the past, but anyways, they've got their shit together now. Kelly got some. Kelly loves soup. I know, Bobby. You know, she's not sick, but she loves soup, and it was a squash soup, and she was eating it about 2 bites in. She said, "This is baby food."
That is what squash soup is. Hello.
I know, and I got to thinking about it. I'm like, how many foods could just be baby food?
Did I ever tell you about when my mom ate baby food and wasn't a baby?
There must be a reason for it.
I think it was a diet.
Well, so I'll tell you, when I was in middle school, there was
She
this.
ate like Tostito chips, tomatoes, and baby food
Some weird crash diet.
for like a long time.
That was in what were those, like First magazine at the grocery store?
Maybe.
Cosmo?
I'm gonna see if I can find
I knew
it.
a girl. There was a girl when I
mean,
was
it's got all your
when I was in
nutritional
middle school, 7th, 8th grade. She was a big girl, like morbidly obese.
I
And
like her already.
And she ate.
Wish they were great big.
And she ate baby food at school. That's what she ate. I'm like, really? So yeah. So anyways, y'all are awful people. Absolutely awful people.
That's how he does it. That dude is so funny with that Buffalo Bill when he's like walking out of the kitchen. When Jodie Foster comes in and he's got this fucking business cards and he just like lets them like fall out.
That's great.
Sorry.
So got up at 5 o'clock and set up everything. Did pretty good.
Just you and her? Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well,
No help?
No.
None of your buddies help?
Oh, well, I mean, they're all setting up their own shit. So, we got set up and ripping and roaring. I think I've talked about, I have these bins that says dig for deals.
Yeah.
And I changed my sign. It says, the sign says dig for deals. Yes, we have bags. Make me an offer. I'll probably say yes. I made $150 out of that bin the first hour. I had a guy specifically come to my booth to dig through my bins,
So to speak.
I actually bought out some other guy's junk towards the end of the show to reload my bin. I probably did about $3,000 before expenses. So cleared out a bunch of stuff. Still had a bunch. Listed a bunch of.
Decluttering is nice.
It is.
Gain on its own.
Listed a bunch of Mezcos. I already had them boxed up. I had prices on them. I just took pictures of them and I posted them in the group. And I had a guy who's a known reseller. And I had some pretty good prices on stuff. He's like, hey, I want all this. Like 10 things. I'm like, okay. He's like, it's going to be a minute before I can pay you. I'm dealing with this sick kid over here, but I knew he was good for it.
Like proper sick?
No, like.
Like, just take your time.
No, well, no, it's like. Not colicky kid, maybe is a better way to put
just
it.
kidding.
Yeah. Anyways, those excuses don't fly with me after think about what I deal with. Sick. What do you mean sick?
Yeah.
Kid has a cough. I'll fucking give him some Benadryl and put him in bed. Please don't take my advice. So I had all these other people hitting me up about like, do you have this? I was like, it's pending. And the guy said, I won't say the guy's name. So must have got to you. He was like, yeah, I guess you'll be able to buy these again soon. LOL. And the guy's like, no, and he had wanted another figure too. And he's like, you know what? Don't worry about that figure. I'll just let him get them all. I'm like, I'm gonna get an attitude with me, dude. I'm not like, you want me not to sell to these guys that are gonna resell? I don't know. It's just like, why you got feelings?
Like first come, first serve anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's not like,
You could have said, hey, if you want to buy them right now,
you can buy them.
You're welcome. You're welcome to.
You can buy them all.
Yeah.
Singer guy, Panera. It was a good show. The crowd wasn't as big as it has been. Obviously, I mean, I think you may even remember being there early on Saturday mornings. You couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And not like that anymore. It was good weather. It was the first like good weekend with decent weather. So that did bring some people out.
It was like in the 40s.
Yeah. Overall it was fun. I'm trying to think of any funny anecdotes. Oh, something interesting. This happened a couple years ago, like right after COVID, when we got back into the swing of things with these shows. These guys come around that are Amazon resellers and will clear things out. So they bought, I don't know how many Marvel Legends from Dom.
Really?
So funny story. Last time Dom was there, I don't think he covered his table fees. Like he didn't sell. And he told me, he's like, if I ask to come do this, don't let me. So he popped his head out this time. I'm like, Dom, you told me not to let you do it.
Right.
But they bought, I think, 20 or 30 figures from him.
Wow.
Derek B had, and forgive me for not knowing which vintage, I think it was before the Combiner Wars stuff, like Chug stuff, somewhere in there. They cleared him out.
Really?
Yeah. They didn't buy anything from me. I guess they're not a big Mezco fan. But yeah, it was a good show. A lot of the same characters over and over.
Yeah.
A lot of the same. There's probably 5 or 6 people that I've sold stuff to for 14 different shows we've been doing now. Been doing that a long time. You think about it. It's a long time to see these same people. So
yeah, there's that one I always remember. The first thing I think of is forget me, I'm terrible with names, but it was a dude and his dad, and like and he was like probably late teens, early 20s.
So I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about, and they still come to the toy shows.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Actually, they're big into the Mythic, so we'll see those guys
kidding.
at the Mythic shows. We're talking about the same people.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, watched. There's a show I've been watching on Hulu. It's called Paradise. It's about end of the world. Everybody went in a bunker kind of thing, and
so not about like a crapshoot outside or anything.
No. There's no shake 'em up going on. But it's been a really good show.
It's
so
Apple
far.
TV or some shit, right?
It's on Hulu.
On Hulu.
Yeah, lots of twists and turns, and you think you figured it out, and
I think I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. James Marsden's in it. You may remember him as Cyclops from the original.
Yeah. Yep.
He's the president that has been killed, and they're kind of unraveling the story. And like his dad was a billionaire, and basically put him in this position, right? Mm-hmm. And his dad said something to his dad like, I just want you to be proud of me. And his dad says the coldest shit. He says, everything you've ever done is because of me. Everything you have is because of me. I'm like, fuck. And then
damn.
kind of fucked up. Abbott Elementary, watch that pretty regularly as it comes on. I just enjoy the silliness of that show, and played some Cyberpunk, believe it or not.
I believe it.
With all the working mods.
It is, yeah. That one time skip mob finally works now.
Oh,
it's
nice.
kind of annoying because if you hold down one of the sticks, it does it, and it's cool. Instead of like going to a black screen, it like you see everything.
See the cycle, the time cycle.
The time cycle, yeah.
And well, in 3 days, Monster Hunter Wilds is going to come out. So.
Oh boy,
nice.
You'll be gone.
Finally.
Hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on Final Fantasy Rebirth. I'll probably take a break from that, go to Monster Hunter, and then go back to Final Fantasy.
Yeah. I had 4 things I wanted to find at this show. I needed the Mezco Duke, just because I hadn't picked it up yet, which I got it from Nick the Toy Guy. And I needed this. This was my last chance to buy the latest Street Fighter Jada Wave before I was just going to break down and order them on Amazon.
Uh-huh.
And I found them all $30 a piece. It's not hateful. Mm-mm. So I got Cammy, DJ, and Guile. And man, those figures are good.
Yeah, specifically for the price.
All right. I mean, do you look at like Storms even said, "Oh, hold on, we can do this too." So that they're doing
such a weird thing for them. Like,
there's so many Street Fighter figures now; it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's like now you're like they cranked out a fair amount of that line, and now they just switch scales.
Well, they're still doing both.
Are they?
They're still doing both, which makes it even confusing. Amazing Yamaguchi is doing Street Fighter 6.
Yes,
and
that makes sense for them.
Yeah, they're actually hiding the joints a little better now. They don't.
Yeah,
I just remember that like the Spider-Man was just
it was
this
crazy
gangly thing.
Well, because like they're I mean that was their purpose, right? Mm-hmm. Their selling point is that you just have high articulation at any cost, and when you put them in crazy articulation anyway, the joints aren't going to look as crazy. You don't buy those to stand them there.
Right. Yeah. But now they're getting to a
Better,
point where you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
Technology.
Absolutely. I guess that's really about it.
All right. And then that'll take us into notes. Oh, wait. I did have a question. When was the last time you felt the need to fit in?
A long time. Like maybe... I'm sure after that, but like the last time I remember was like junior year of high school.
Oh, wow. That is a long time.
And then that was when I stopped giving a fuck, and then my life got better after that.
So is there a
It's
difference?
like when I realized I wasn't going to fit in anyway, and I don't need to, and then I was like, fuck it.
Is there a difference in fitting in and acting as if? Because I'll be honest, there's work situations.
You're talking about
where
the desire to fit in, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
want
the
to.
desire.
Yeah,
I don't
have
yeah,
that.
you want
No,
to.
I
You
couldn't
want to
tell you
fit
that.
in. Mine was like I forget what made me think of this. But like I am like, and every year that goes on, it might be an age thing, but like I do feel like I just am becoming like this more and more and more like authentic version of myself.
Because you understand yourself more every day.
Yeah, probably.
And I mean,
But I think the last time I felt the need to was when I got my current job.
I could see that.
I think when I
that's about a big life change.
when I got my current job and I got out of the training portion of it and got into like the regular day-to-day business side of it, like I really, really, really wanted to fit in, and I felt like I had to curb elements of myself in order to get acceptance.
Well, you kind of always do, right? Unless you just
I
are born
think we'll have
normie.
to tuck it in a bit. I mean,
It's varying degrees, right? Because there
Sure.
are born normies who just like the people who just wake up in the morning happy and then fucking just fit in where they go. There are those people.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's varying degrees. It's like, how much do you have to hide of yourself in order to be quote unquote normal, like everyone around you anyway, the norm around you, right? And like sometimes if you're very different, it's just not worth it.
yeah.
Yeah. So for me, and I think it wasn't planned this way.
Yeah.
But I tucked my tail in so much for so long. Just elements of myself, not like my character.
Yeah.
But like my interest, like I tucked in a lot of like the geek shit.
Yeah.
I tucked in a lot of like, the music side of my life that's just been part of my life. I even tucked in like how I dress and everything. I tucked in a lot. But who I am, like, my humor and what I find funny, the jokes I crack, all that shit, same. And then once I got the acceptance, I just slowly started rolling out, and then, there's been a number of things that have changed the dynamics. Like the Marvel movies and shit made that kind of stuff kind of more socially acceptable. And we started hiring a lot more younger people, which made other parts of it more acceptable, and like on and on and on. And it there was other factors, but it was also that I had created this buy-in. And then once I had the buy-in, it's like they couldn't turn their back on it.
Too late.
Yeah. Anyway, just something I thought about. Let's see. We have some trailers.
Yep.
A lot of trailers. So this one, I kept it in. I probably won't even watch it. But this Batman versus the Yakuza.
It's very silly.
Yeah.
And I mean, the animation looks cool, but
I don't like the animation.
It sounds crazy.
It's obviously
it's not for me either.
It's computer animated, but made to look like cell shaded, and I don't think it translates well.
Not yet. So
Not the way they're doing it.
I mean, that technique has been done for a while now, and there's varying degrees of success, and that's like one of the not as good.
Hey,
ones.
speaking of animation, pin real quick. I watched that 40K episode of that.
Secret level?
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Right?
That was really cool.
Try and play the game. Since you like games, play the 40K game. It looks just like that.
Not the tabletop one, though, ever.
No, never.
Don't do that.
That might be a little dicey.
That's true.
It's very,
you
very
know what
dicey.
you'll need? A pair of dice.
You need
I've been watching the show.
I know. That's why I asked you for shooting craps. So the reason why I even included it, I have the first one that
Yes.
and
I think we watched together.
I don't know, but I've never
Batman Ninja. Is that
Yes.
the one?
Yeah.
I've never made it through. I've never seen how it concludes.
It's not good.
It's not good, but I love the character design.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like it looks cool.
You know,
but
so
it's not
like
good.
I included it because like I looking
Todd
at it.
McFarlane is just chomping at the bit.
Yeah. I love the Ra's al Ghul design. I loved,
you're gonna buy the figure when they come out.
maybe.
You have some of them.
Yeah,
so.
it was interesting is like because like that type of shit. I have like the 1/6 scale, Catwoman, Harley, and Joker of that because I love the aesthetic.
Yeah,
but they did a Batman, and I was like, not quite good enough for me, and like I just didn't get the Batman, which is interesting. But I just think they're cool takes, they're cool reimaginings of those character designs. But I think the storytelling is awful.
No, it's quite awful.
The next one, the trailer was for the comic shop.
That's awful.
Seems very formulaic, and that like.
I mean, they show you in the damn movie that the guy wants to be a comic artist, and there's a shot of him autographing something at a show. I'm like, well, I guess I already figured this out.
Is it a movie or a show?
It's a movie. I'm saying that he's at like a comic convention or something. The way the trailer's cut is fucking awful.
It just tells you the entire story first.
It does,
and then it's just like super like just cliche and formulaic. It was like it's supposed to be this heartwarming story. I would rather watch Dodgeball, and it's the same story.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily opposed to watching this,
but you let us know how it is.
There's one key thing that I need from it. When it opens, the last possible year I'm accepting for it opening is 2003. Given the context of the story.
Yeah, true.
Because after, like, by the time that you get into the 2010s, most of the small mom and pop bullet hole fucking comic book stores are long gone.
And when they go to the fancy comic, my dad owns this place and I run it.
That's what I'm saying.
That shit's real.
I know, but just the presentation of it was just
it's cliche.
And I don't see why you're encouraging him to draw.
I think it's cliche for us, but I'm
who's it for then?
I don't know what demographics is this for? If it's not for people our age. It seems like it should be.
No, I don't mean our age. I mean specifically people that like bought shit out of comic book stores.
Oh, well, yeah. It's been a long time since I've done that.
It feels like it's kind of like a family movie aimed for a younger generation, but the story being told is like our generation. Yeah. So like it doesn't quite mesh for me.
In the world.
So anyway, I'm not excited about it or anything, but like if I saw that it was on one day, I would watch it. But if it says anything after the year 2003, I'm automatically out upon opening scroll.
Fair enough.
You think somebody Star Wars in 2003?
I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's give it a shot. Chaos, the Manson murders coming to.
Seems interesting.
It looks horrifying.
You gonna
coming to Netflix? No, it's not that interesting. But if I had Netflix, I would watch it because it does seem interesting that take on. So like, and I'm guessing it's like some like Alex Jones almost area of bullshit, but that Manson was trained.
It was a CIA. I mean, that's been a rumor for
CIA
years.
operative.
CIA operative.
A rogue CIA guy.
Or it was a trial to see how these drugs reacted and
was using CIA mind control techniques to warp the minds of these young girls into doing his bidding.
But we already know that like cult members are just going to be cult members anyway. We have cults after him. They might not necessarily murder people, but they will fucking cut their own nuts off and kill themselves. Do you know what I mean?
While they're wearing black Nike.
Yeah, so like people are being washable.
Yeah,
we know
very
this.
true, very true. And I don't know if you need CIA techniques to do it.
You don't.
No,
you just need a charismatic dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Who wants to fuck everybody really bad, and then kill everybody.
Am I Charles?
Take this test to find out.
Am I Charles Manson?
Yeah, that's how they weed out the serial killers.
Like I'm charismatic. I like to fuck other.
You have a following.
Yeah. Don't nobody kill for me. Love for me. You know what I mean? Okay. Andor season 2.
Yes.
I don't know if it's true, but if it stood out to me immediately that Star Wars with regular music seems odd.
Yeah, don't like it.
Does. It's been a big controversy.
It hasn't been a thing because I never noticed until just now.
You know what's funny? That's a David Allan Coe song. who sang.
He was in Living Color, I believe.
He definitely was not.
It was David Allen.
Wrong Living Color. Let's just say that. David Allen Coe had a string of hits.
What if?
Here we go. I'd love to see you do a Bobby Boogie Bop on David Allen Coe. Yeah, this song, I don't know if you guys know it. You Never Even Call Me By My Name. You don't have to call me darling. Darling. You never even called me by my name. I was drunk the day my mom got out of prison.
I feel like
you don't know
like
this?
it doesn't matter how many words you say to this song, I'm still not going to know it.
He also had he used the N-word quite freely in some of his music.
Oh wow.
He had a song
Bold choice.
White Shirts and Rain, I believe is one of his songs.
White Shirts and Rain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wet t-shirts, right? Anyways, this is a song he wrote.
That's bloody Klan robes with this fucking character.
Well, maybe. Anyways, I thought it was an odd choice from an artist standpoint for that song.
Because maybe this person is only known in Alabama, so nobody knows who he is.
I bet you there's a couple people that listen that might know.
But like, it stood out to me. I'm just wait.
Yeah.
Star Wars with regular music? It was like my brain could not put the two things together.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
But this is not the first time, apparently.
That's possible.
This is the first time I've ever noticed.
I want to say the Rogue One trailer had. There was a trailer that had
think
it.
so.
Maybe not.
I think there was maybe that one with these kids might have had one. The Goonies one might have had one.
Yeah. And I mean, like, there was some original music in Andor that was kind of more of a poppy sound. It wasn't like a pop song.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't. It felt wrong.
I agree. I
mean, I wanted to watch it. It seemed good.
I got that the music was about a revolution. Yeah. Like I picked up on that little cue. That wasn't lost on me, you know? But other than that.
Yes, other than that.
I was like, this looks good.
Yeah.
I will say it looks a little more polished to me than the first series.
Is that bad?
Not as gritty as from a character standpoint, you mean?
Yeah, just even like the film grain and shit. Like it just didn't look like it was as in the trenches.
I see what you mean.
But that doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad thing. I saw K2SO. That warmed my heart.
Like, we get Krennic in this.
Saw
is in it.
You know,
just so I know we always talk about this.
Bodega sees
Bodega?
I forget
the
what
bodega?
I don't know what it's actually called, but it sounds like bodega.
Then we always talk about this, so I bookmarked this. The episode schedule is on the 22nd of April. We get episodes 1 through 3. Now this is broken into 4. Apparently, it's going to be 4 different story arcs that build up to Rogue One. So April 22nd, you get 3 episodes. April 29th, you get the next 3. May 6th, you get 3 more, and then the last 3 you get on May 13th. So they're releasing them in batches of 3.
And this takes you right up to Rogue One, and then so they're done after this. That might be good. Yeah. No,
I like definitive ends.
Yeah, no one to stop.
Yep. And this I don't know how breaking this news is, but everyone's favorite leader of the Star Wars gang, Kathleen Kennedy, has announced this is her last year.
Okay,
so she is.
And everybody's probably like, yeah, because all the failures. It's like, yeah, that's why. Well, now they've decided.
I mean, people don't realize Kathleen Kennedy's been involved in the film industry for
fucking ever.
40 years.
Yeah. She did the real Goonies.
Yeah.
But like, I think that also, what was the other thing I was going to say about that shit? I'll tell you what I don't like about it being the last season, though. If there's not a time jump, it means that Andor and K2SO's relationship is relatively new. And I don't like that as much.
So that's apparently how this is going to, there's going to be time jumps between these 3.
Oh, really?
3, yeah. So I don't know how many years they have to go. I think initially the plan was to do like 4 seasons, and they just decided I don't think they can get the commitment from everybody to do it all, so they condensed it down. So I'm going to rewatch the first season.
I am too.
Pretty soon.
I am too. Laura's never seen it, so
wow. Okay.
So not that she wants to see it, but I'm gonna probably.
Well, I think I'd be interesting to see what she thinks about it.
It's a good show.
It's a good show. She'll be, but like she's like, she'll be happy just to watch TV because I'm just like, turn that shit off, turn that dumb ass shit off.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
But I am in for White Lotus, and I am in for. It looks like Righteous Gemstones is coming back.
Yeah, I need to watch that too.
So I got a little bit of TV in my future this year. for better or worse.
Well, Daredevil as well.
Yeah. If I like that,
Yeah.
I
Well, it's there even if you don't.
Yeah, and I probably will watch it. But I think to this day the best Disney Marvel show was Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Do you watch the movie yet?
I have not. I've been meaning to. I tried to go Saturday, but we ended up going to the Illusions Museum.
Which one?
Well, your eyes were probably been fooled either way, buddy.
Were you glad? Was it a good choice?
I think so, because I think having the unique experience was probably for the best. But I do think about just get just telling her look, I want to watch the Star Wars show with you. There's gonna be a little bit of hemming and hawing, but then once she watches one episode and because she loves the fucking television, she never watches it unless I watch it with her. Mm-hmm. So she never watches it, but she does really enjoy watching a show, and I used to. But I was getting back to the Captain America and Winter Soldier. I think that's the best one, but I still wouldn't say that I loved it. I recognize that it's the best you got, but I would never go back to it, and I think that Daredevil, the framing of it so far looks the most promising to me, but I've been made promises before,
Yeah.
Let me stop this for just a second. Only one question this week, but
wow.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
If you'd like to send in one. Actually, I did. Billings wrote one. I just screenshot it. So actually, there is a second one. Let me pull that up real quick, so to speak. So he said, side question, how much is an Uber over there? Where I live, we're so constantly fucked behind the curve of modern day luxuries and technology that Uber is another one of those things where there's too few drivers, so prices are stupid dumb. If I need an Uber from the bar to home that's 7 miles and maybe 10 minutes away, it's $50.
Jesus.
I mean, I never take Ubers around here.
I don't either.
But I take them in cities all across the country, and it varies wildly depending on throttling and what time it's probably $15-$20 to do something like that, depending on what time it is.
Yeah,
and if it's, here's the other thing. If I'm in New York City, it's going to take an hour to go 7 miles.
Right.
But if I'm in Des Moines, it's a straight shot.
Shoulders came out here for the Halloween party and slept here and then took a Uber home. And I think he said it was $55.
But that's a pretty long way.
Yeah, that's a distance.
Yeah, but that's what I'm going to say. Yeah. And that was probably 40, 50 miles.
Yeah.
So his is 7 miles and $50. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's
I walk.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's walkable.
7 miles though. So that's a walk.
I mean, we've walked that before.
Yeah, for sure. But if you go to the bar, now you're going to walk for 2.5 hours
at night.
They're going to find
on
you
the side of the road.
You're going to find you as a dead body, frozen on the side of the road.
And then we got one email, which I'm having a hard time finding. There it is. Andrew M. writes in and says, "What's up, wizards? In my last write-in, I had mentioned another story about a college friend I had in
Alabama.
Roll Tide, buddy."
And but luckily, what did he say? But Bobby skimmed over the important part about how it relates to my friend marrying his cousin. But luckily, Chris was still interested. Hope Chris is here for this.
Hey.
Well, this one's a doozy of a story. We got the time today. Like last story, I can confirm this is 100% real after speaking to multiple members of their family. With that in mind, I will be changing the names of those involved to protect the innocent, or maybe the bloody guilty, you know what I mean? My friend met his now wife shortly after graduating college in our college town in
Alabama.
And sometime after graduating, I visited them. They had announced their engagement. So it was here they revealed the truth. They were cousins.
What
kind of cousins?
After my shock,
kissing cousins.
Hey, that's the type.
After my shock wore down, they then explained their family secret to me. The story starts with my friend's grandpa, who I will call Kurt. Kurt was married to a woman, and I will call Angela. You didn't go Courtney? Who was my friend's grandma. My friend's family tree comes entirely from Kurt and Angela. Sometime late into their marriage, well, after they were done having kids, Angela died in a freak hunting accident on their land, which was a massive blow to their family as well as their small Alabama town. It took some years of Kurt living alone before he met a widow I will call Lori, who he fell in love with. Lori's family is the family of my friend's fiance, and when Kurt and Lori got married, it would formally entwine the two family trees. Kurt and Lori lived happily together for some time and had no kids together. So the short of it is they are cousins by that marriage, but not at all blood related.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, here's the twist. My friend and his fiance never knew they were cousins because they had no contact with each other at all throughout their lives.
Yeah, extended family is weird.
As their families vowed never to speak to each other again. This separation happened after Lori, just like Angela before her, died during a freak hunting accident.
Hey, yo.
You see, because Kurt was so well known in their small Alabama town, his side of the story as far as what happened to his first wife, Angela, was never questioned. Everyone believed his hunting accident cover story, and he and the town moved on with their lives. In reality, he killed his first wife in cold blood. But with Lori, the act wasn't committed as cleanly, and it was much more obvious that he had murdered his second wife for reasons unknown. It was so much more obvious that he then shot himself shortly after killing Lori, before the police could arrive on scene, knowing he would never get out of a conviction. So not only did my friend's grandpa kill his own grandma and himself, but he killed his fiance's widowed grandma as well. This obviously created an irreplaceable rift between the two families that never healed until my friend's mom ran into his fiance's mom in town and they reconnected. After they met, started dating, and then got engaged, his fiance's father and all the brothers invited my friend to their home where they carefully interviewed, interrogated my friend, and warned him that if he ever hurt his fiance, they would kill him, to ensure another one of the men from my family's tree didn't kill another woman from their family tree. So far, their marriage has gone very well. Their families are on better speaking terms, and they just had their first child. So far, so good.
Isn't that what they did back in the day too? Like they marry kingdoms together and then they have better relationships.
Yeah. And then he said, fingers crossed, hope you enjoyed the most Alabama story I had ever heard while at school there. Thanks for the laughs. So not really a question.
Did you go to school on the east side or the west side of Alabama? I'm curious.
Is there two sides of Alabama?
Well, there's two different colleges, universities, and one is on the east side of the state and one's on the west side. I'm just curious. So my grandfather died probably in 94, and this is my dad's father, and my grandmother she got courted by this man named Lewis, and Lewis, my grandmother's name is Martha, by the way, just put that out there. Why'd you say that name? She went by Martha Lee, actually. So she starts spending some time with this gentleman named Lewis. And then it's come to my attention that Lewis used to be married to my mom's aunt.
Wow.
And had said at some point in time after she had died that he just wanted to marry a rich old widow.
Wow.
We're like, we're keeping an eye on you there, buddy.
Sounds like a lot of family trees are more just the trunk.
Hey, listen, the roots run deep, but the limbs are thin.
It seems that way. So yeah, that's all we got.
Strange.
Yeah, strange. It's a strange world we live in.
It is.
I mean, extended family is strange. Everyone's related to everybody at some point, right?
I mean, if you really think about the fact that there was a point in our civilization where 50 miles was an impassable distance, how many people? Well, cousin, I mean, it ain't gonna happen to anybody else here, right?
I mean, it's a certain distant cousin is like normal, okay, right?
Yeah, except by the time you're a second cousin, it doesn't. There's no like.
Is there laws against that shit?
I don't know. Probably depends depends on if you're in Maryland or
Alabama.
Yeah,
because second cousins is like an okay thing, supposed to be. I think.
And then there's
I think genetically you're good.
And
like
then
the wrist.
Heart one was heart once, Bobby.
That's right. The whole twice cousins twice removed. And
who am I to stand in the way of true love?
Like I've called people my second cousins my whole life, and they're actually my first cousin twice removed or whatever.
I don't even know what that shit means.
Exactly. I can't imagine I don't know. Would it be a deal breaker if someone didn't fucking know they were first cousins and they happened to have met somewhere else, and then they later fucking find out that they're fucking cousins? Is that a deal breaker? Are you gonna like fucking just not be with this person anymore?
So I think it purely depends on procreation.
You definitely shouldn't have kids for sure.
Right.
You know that, but like
if you're good with that,
relationship wise, is like
if you're good with that, it doesn't bother me any.
yeah.
You know, and the thing is,
you go do a fucking 23andMe. You and your spouse do 23andMe, and you found.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I don't care
Listen.
if it's brother and sister.
Listen.
If you're not getting, it's just none of my business.
It
But
makes-
if you have a kid and the kid has issues, it affects society as a whole.
Correct.
So like,
And also the kid itself.
yeah, for sure.
So like, I don't give a fuck if you.
Yeah,
It makes the holidays a lot simpler. Right?
Yeah, like fucking grown adults can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't care what you do as long as you don't bring other people.
Yeah, as long as you don't impact anybody else's life with it. You know, and that's where the procreation bit gets tricky.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
And
I
then you can't be like, hey, you can't procreate. So I guess that's where you got to draw the line. It's like, look,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, 'cause then who,
That's a strange.
Who are we
anytime
to be drawing
yeah,
lines?
anytime that you, because it's like then like who do you let make that decision, and then how far can they take that decision, and then like then you got people in power fucking telling you who can and can't, and then just traditionally it doesn't work out well.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But we all like know as a fact that like inbreeding is not
That-
good.
Right.
So
Yeah, but whether or not we choose to stick with the plan, you know.
a lot of people don't apparently in Alabama.
Alabama!
West Virginia is probably worse.
Oh, that's another go. That's another good one.
That was always the joke around here in
Yeah.
these parts. We don't think that as
So
far as Alabama. It's always
true.
Virginia.
It's always true.
Well, West Virginia is a lot closer and maybe actually worse in many ways.
Yeah,
They have the whites over there.
the wild and wonderful whites.
And then the Whitakers, that soft,
Whitakers
soft
is a
underbelly.
whole
You see their
other
whole place burned down. The whole place burnt down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that.
No, I take that back. So they had that ramshackle, and then across the
Yeah.
street, the across the street part burned down.
Oh, okay, that's where the cemetery was too, wasn't it?
Possibly.
They buried their like loved ones over there.
Yeah.
You know, there's like the blue people, like the whole of like
I've
Appalachian.
met one of them before.
They're wild, dude.
I was at a flea market in Alabama called Dog Days. Actually, it's on the Alabama-Tennessee line. The reason
Yeah,
it's called
Alabama's
Dog Days
fucked,
is where
bro.
you used to go buy your hunting dogs. But now it's people selling a bunch of junk, and there was this one kind of like they had a couple enclosed things and this bunch of antiques in there, and I thought it was just a statue. This fucking woman was blue.
I think some kind of silver poisoning.
She was
sad?
blue. No, well, she was a very nice lady.
Does she
was
play like,
She looked like she was wearing fucking Cyclops' suit over there.
Was she like beating on like trash barrels and stuff and making beats?
No, she was just tending to her shop, selling antiquities.
I thought it was a whole group of those
Old
guys.
Coca-Cola stuff. It's a whole. Yeah, I don't know where she came from. I didn't interview her.
That's where the Blue Man Group came from.
Yeah, maybe.
Never nudes.
So with that, shout out to Dante. He just had a birthday recently. Happy birthday to Dante.
Birthday.
And shout out to him on Facebook and Phil on Twitter and our notes. And Ricky Tiki Timmer's done one video, I think, within the last 6 months. So, throw one his
Still
way.
counts.
Still counts. Still gets it in there.
Local Florida man.
Yep. And then what the fuck else? What else do I do? Is that it? That's it, right? And then, of course, shout out to Pharaoh. Couldn't be here today. And
Who might now be a possum?
you might, yes, that's what it was. Pharaoh Possum. That's what I wanted to call the episode.
Impossible.
3 and a possum.
3 and a possum. 3 and a Pharaoh Possum. All right. So with that,
Flappy labius.
Tage, detain.
tight dick player.